Hello Volcanauts. So now to the second tutorial, how to set up, as example, Korg Volca sample with the M Audio trigger finger to program longer sequences in beats or whatever you want to do. First of all, really important is, if you didn't do so yet, if you turn on your Volca sample, make sure I try to do this with one hand really quick. You hold the function button at the same time you're turning it on. So now it's in the setup mode, and there's some of configurations you can do. I mean, you can read them out of your little handbook or internet, but most important one is tab 6. This one, if you usually mine was like that. It was set up to internal signal, so which means it only takes the signals from the device itself if you change the tempo, or it takes also from the regular jacks, like the 3.5 ones. So, but you have to set it on auto, which is like this. So just turn it on and hit the record button to save. So that was it. So still works. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. So now back to this one, the Trigger Finger Pro. You just turn it on really quick. And I accidentally somehow back in the day changed the sequence 1 to one of my own beats, but that doesn't matter. And you go to tab 9 or preset 9, which is Midi, so that's easier. In this case, everything's already preset to Midi, and of course everybody knows the problem that on all 10 pads it just plays the first sound, and we're gonna fix that now. So pad pretty much is all this. The control button, you can change like all these controls, which gets interesting later if you want to control any of these. So if you do it right, you don't have to put your hands onto the Volca sample at all anymore. So, but we get to that later. But we start with the pad. So the pads is this. Now you have this screen. Let's put the tempo down a little bit. On 33 is a little bit too fast. Then the mapping is already set on Midi. If you would leave it on Arsenal, you would have to go in here first and set it to Midi, but that's already done. Since you have to, or since we chose the preset number 9. So edit pads. So if you want to control any of the like Volca keys or the FM or bass, then you can set like the notes for every pad on this knob right here. But we are going to go into that too far right now. That's something you can look into later if you want to, have like certain chords already programmed on your pads. That let's say if you hit these 3, it's playing this pattern, whatnot. Then feel free and experiment with that. So now we go into more, and that's where our MIDI channels are. So by just pressing the first pad, we are on the first pad. Or you can select them right here, pad 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. We have 10 available through the Korg Volca, so we only can use 10 of these, which means the way you want to set them up, it's all up to you. If you have a certain way you want to, touch them, go for it. I just go by the order as they are already labeled. And so the first one is already programmed. We could leave it, but I'm a perfectionist, so I'm going to go for channel 1. Now we hit the second one, and we go for channel 2. So this is all it is, and go for 3, and you just keep on going. I'll just do that really quick, and 4, 5, 6, and so on. Oops. And that's the only thing that kind of confuses me, is the way the knobs are turning. So now we can play any sound on it. There you go. So that's pretty much it, actually. So now you can save it as your own preset, or override the preset number 9 if you want to leave it there. If you never want to use anything else, or you just scroll through and look for an empty default bank and just rewrite that and call it Volcas, whatever you want. And so, yeah, now I can just hit play. And it fires off the Volca beats. So also, if you want to mute, like let's say you want to mute these 4, it even really mutes the sounds on the Volca sample. So this for that. Another nice feature that I found out is if you go back into pads and you hit edit pads and more, you can even change from each pad the color. So if you want to, like I have a setup I'll show you in a second that kind of has the colors from the 808. So pad on, oh wait a minute, pad off. Yeah, there you go. So you can scroll through, there's, I don't know how many, I think it's about 15 different colors or 10, I can't really remember. But you can change them to anything you want. So I have a setup here. Let's go through here, Volca sample. So change preset, there we go, load. And it kind of has the 808 colors. So the red, the first 4 are red, orange, yellow and white. I mean, it's a kind of purple, but it appears to be white since all other colors are pretty dark. So that's pretty good, positive. So then can you change, or you just load up a song that you programmed before and hit play. And of course, even if you change the speed, it will do. So that's for this. So a little long video. I mean, I have to go, you know, and find the right options too. But also you can use these 4 knobs and the 4 faders if you want to control anything of those. I will post the actual Midi chart from Korg in the description. You will find any function that provides a Midi control, and you just have, I mean, what usually works pretty good is the high cut or decays and attacks. So that's something I would recommend to use on one of those 4 knobs, and the faders really depends on you if you want to use other functions too. I think the isolators are not MIDI programmed, and the sample selection button is not programmed for MIDI, but you can figure that out. Like I said, I mean, it's really up to you. I usually don't use it really much, but I think it's a pretty cool feature. And like I said, it's working out the same way. Instead of hitting the pads, you go into the control and edit controls, and I think you have to go one more time in here. Then you see the MIDI channels again. You have to press it a couple times until you get to this screen pretty much. And knob 1 is of course this one, and you can choose any knob up here all the way to 4, and then it goes over to the faders and to the buttons, which are these down here. And it's all up to you how you want to program them, but it's the same way. You find the MIDI channel for each fader or button or knob down here. You find on a MIDI channel chart, whatever it's called, and that's all you use. I mean, if you want to have knob 1 is going to be the high cut, then you just go through and find that right MIDI channel that's probably on that chart. So I hope this helps. Sorry, I tried to explain it as best as I can. And if you still have any questions, let me know. And I try to answer as good as I can. Have a good one.